This is the 2026 GMC Sierra 2500 HD SLT, and in today's Vehicle Visionary video, we're going to give you the ultimate tour. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We borrowed this truck from Mike Morgan Buick GMC in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. Here on the front end with our lighting, it's going to be full LED. That's everything. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, LED fog lights, turn signal indicators, all of it. And you can see the locator lights, that animated look you just saw. Those are called the locator lights. You can turn those on or off in the center screen if you want to. As far as the overall look of the truck, for those of you that like chrome, there is some chrome here, obviously. Nice, large, bold looking grille. I know everything's a little bit dirty. It's just the way it goes when we're in pollen season. We're gonna have our front view camera right here, and when you see this little thing sticking out right there, that is the camera washer. Anytime you run your windshield washer fluid, that sprays windshield washer fluid right across the front camera and keeps that nice and clean. You might get an indicator or a notice on your driver's display that tells you it's blocked. That's a good time to do that. The air intake right here is actually functional on the trucks when you have the 6.6 Duramax diesel under the hood. So in this case, it is functional. And we'll see one of the multiple sensors, a couple of them right here on the front end. They're gonna be all over the truck. And our 2500 logo right here. Now, something very important for those of you that live in a really cold climate, here is where you plug your block heater in. So if you're gonna take advantage of that, that's where it goes. The cable comes with the truck. If you need to take advantage of that, this truck will be four-wheel drive and we'll have the 20-inch wheels. Tell me what you think about the overall design of these wheels. It does have a gloss finish, but it's not black. Some people may like that a little bit more. If you're gonna be on rough off-road situations and you may get that kind of scratched up a little bit occasionally, guess what? It's not gonna show the damage as easily that way. Now, with our side view mirrors, you're gonna have a little bit of everything here. In fact, let me do something real fast here. We're gonna turn on some of the exterior lighting. Now, you've got your LED lighting elements right here. You're also gonna have your turn signal indicators built in. There's LED lighting elements on the other side of the mirror right there. These are heated, they're power adjustable. They're also gonna be power folding. Let me show you some of the functionality we've got here. First of all, we're gonna have the power folding function, and you can set this up to where they will actually fold and unfold when you lock and unlock the truck, depending on what you want. They're also gonna be extendable, power extending trailering mirrors, so if you need to take advantage of that when you're out towing, you can easily do that. That's gonna be a nice little feature right there. And here is the remote. Lock, unlock, remote start. You can open the tailgate, but with the multi-pro tailgate back there, you're not going to be able to close it with that button, no matter what people say in the comments, even though they never show us in a video. Panic button is also there. You'll also find a mechanical key located within the remote right here. And you might wonder, well, what exactly is that for? If the battery in the remote, or the key fob, if you want to call it that, happens to die, you can stick it right in here and lock and unlock the truck, no problem. You will also find your button for passive entry right there. You can lock and unlock the truck only on the front doors. I feel like GMC should, if it's on the front doors, it should automatically be back here on the rear. That shouldn't be something you have to option in. You won't find the power assist steps on this truck. Not a big deal. The assist steps are still here. This truck is fairly high off the ground, so that makes things a little bit easier. And speaking of high off the ground, we're gonna have the bed step right here. I like that. You can jump up here like this and makes it a lot easier to gain access to the front of the bed. We're gonna work our way back here. We'll have our X31 badging. And just like we did with the front, here in the rear, I'm gonna show you the animated lights when you come out and unlock your truck. This is what's gonna happen. Now, that doesn't look very bright, but after dark, it is extraordinarily bright. We're also gonna have our bumper steps right here, just like with the bed step. Makes it easy to gain access to and from the rear of the bed. And we're gonna have another light right here. Also the in-bed lighting that I'm sure you saw in this scene just a few seconds ago. If not, we'll show it to you real quick. That does do a great job of illuminating the interior of the bed beyond what you might think. Now, with the multi-pro tailgate, here's what we're gonna have. We're gonna run through this real fast. It works as a conventional style tailgate, but that's not all that it does. You can open this top section right here. Yes, you have to push the button and then pull it down like this. You can use that as a table or a bed extender, depending on if you want something sitting a little bit lower that's still gonna be longer than the bed interior itself. And you can even use this area as a bed extender to have something butt up against that if you want to. That's not really its primary purpose, but that's what we have in this case. Now, we're going to close that back up, open it like this, and then we're going to drop that one more time. That makes it easier to gain access to the interior of the bed with the tailgate open, because you can get a little bit closer to everything, to tie things down, to untie things, whatever you need to do, gain access to your 120 volt power outlet that's going to be over there on the right hand side. And you can see all of the different tie downs within the bed. There's actually a total of 12, 3 in the front, 3 in the rear. You also can option in the area right here where it's already set up for your gooseneck or your fifth wheel hitch, so you're set up where that is concerned. But that's not all we have. I don't mean to sound like an infomercial, but let me bring this up like this. Once again, you can use this as a bed extender, but its primary purpose is actually to be used as a bed step. Now, one thing that's very interesting to me is that you no longer have the handle right here. What happened to that GMC? The handle that you could put up to grab as you're getting in and out of the bed of the truck. Now, on these 2500s and the 3500s, and that's more useful than it is on the 1500s, but that's just the way it is. And something else that's been optioned in here will be the lighting right here, so that you can see the step when you're using that after dark. And as mentioned earlier, I did correct myself. It's a 6.6 Duramax diesel. Let's talk about what exactly you have here. With the Duramax diesel, you're looking at 470 horsepower and 975 pounds-feet of torque. Definitely not hurting for power and torque. All of that is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and that motor is going to definitely need to have a large fuel tank. In this case, we're going to have, which is standard on all of these HD trucks as of 2026, 36 gallons. You're going to have your fill cap right here. And some quick details about usability here. Depending on what you're doing with your truck, you can haul up to 3,100 pounds of payload. And depending on if you're going with a conventional trailer or a gooseneck, conventional, you're looking at 18,500 pounds. If you go gooseneck or fifth wheel, it doesn't go up a lot, but you can tow up to 19,100 pounds. Now let's talk about what your backseat passengers are going to find. First of all, the door bin. The armrest is nice and comfortable. A little bit of padding built into that. That's nice. Plenty of space. The door bin is enormous. You're going to have that bottle holder in the front, a lot of space in the back for whatever needs to be put into that area. And we'll find, as I told you earlier, there's the cable for your block heater. So if you're not sure what to look for, there it is. We're going to put that down here on the floor. By the way, the floor is almost completely flat. You don't have a really tall transmission tunnel, a little bit right here, but if somebody gets stuck sitting here in the middle section of the back seat, it's not going to be so bad. Their legs won't be up real high because of that transmission tunnel. We're going to have the rear seat pockets on the back of each seat. And something else that I really like is what we have right here on the back of the seats themselves. We'll show you over there on the other side. My cameraman opening that up for you. The storage, the in-seat storage, I really like that because that's kept me from having to either shove things under the seat or put things in the pockets right here in my truck. I do own a truck just like this. It's a 2024 model, but there's no real differences ultimately overall. The grab handle, very helpful to get in. Dark walnut and slate is the interior color. Summit white is the exterior color if you're curious. And we'll find right here the fold down armrest with the cup holders built in. One thing that would be beneficial here is to have these cup holders vertically positioned as opposed to parallel to one another. That way there's always room to use it as an armrest. You can see that if there was a bottle right here, well, I couldn't quite do this. I might be able to do it like this, but that just works that way. Something else I wanted to show you here, you do have the power sliding rear window. It's going to have the rear window defogger built in. And then we'll also find our air conditioning vents right here. Couple of USB ports, the buttons for the heated seats. The outboard seats are heated back here, and we're also going to have the cup holders built in. One thing that is new for 2026, like I said, there's not any major changes. One thing that has changed is that heated seats are now a standard feature on these trucks. The sticker price is $84,685. Let's see what else you get for that price. Now, one thing you do have to option in if you want to is the sunroof. I know for me, I don't like a sunroof, so my truck doesn't have one just like this one. And we'll work our way down here and look at storage. Well, before we do that, let's talk about this area up here, because you're going to have your lighting right there. something that I hope doesn't change in the future, we're going to have our home link right here with our 3 buttons, and then this controls your power sliding rear window. You will have OnStar and all that good stuff here, as you can see. And we'll work our way down here and talk about our storage with the upper glove box first. Let me hit the button right here and open that up for you so you can see that. Nice to have that extra little amount of storage. And then we have the lower glove box in the conventional position where everybody's used to seeing that. And that's not all you have. There's also some storage here on the side of the center console right here in this area on both sides, not only here on the passenger side, but on the driver's side as well. The door panel over there, again, nice large armrest, plenty of room for storage with the door bin. You're actually going to have 2 cup holders or bottle holders right there, depending on what you need to do where that is concerned. And now we'll work our way over here to the driver's side. Now, we're going to find seat memory. At this price point, it should be on the driver and passenger sides. It's not. That's just one of those little things that I say we really need that, GMC. I think that would be a good idea for the price point. And here is the control for the side view mirrors to fold those in, to extend or pull them back in. You can lock the windows here. You can also drop your windows right here. One touch down, but you'll have to hold that button like that to bring the rear windows up. One touch down, one touch up on the front windows. Now, your power parking brake located right here. Your lighting is here. Your exterior lighting, the cab lighting, and the bed light right there, and then everything else for your lights here. You can just leave that on auto, no big deal. If you're going to manage 4-wheel drive, you can put it on auto if you want to, or you can just manage everything right here, 4 high and 4 low on this side. Go back to 2-wheel drive here. To go into tow haul mode, you just push right there, and you're going to see it right above the truck, right here, with the likeness of your Sierra right there. You have 2 other driving modes, which will be normal and off-road. Now, everything for adaptive cruise control is located over here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. You've got your heated steering wheel button right there. The good thing about adaptive cruise control, it works when you are trailering. Very nice to have that feature. And then everything for managing the voice commands. You can make several different changes to the driver's display and go through a lot of different information here. There's your compass. If you have your phone connected, you can go right there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the scroll wheel right here, and we can go to display layout, and we can actually make some changes where that's concerned. Now, you do have some presets where it does the whole thing. You've got progressive. We can go down to digital. That's what we're going to have right here. And then you can have clean. It just depends on what it is you like, what it is your personal preference is. Now, I'm going to go back up here to progressive. That's not all you can do here. You can also come down and go back right here. We can go to the left side and make changes. Right side, lower gauges. You can see what all is going on here, but you can do a lot of different changes and customization. And if you get to a point where you say, I don't like what I've done, you can come down here and reset to defaults and you'll be good to go. There's your digital speedometer if you want to take advantage of that. Everything is pretty easy to deal with. By the way, I did have somebody ask one time, can you get rid of the truck right there? Yes, you can do that. And we'll have our conventional shifter right here. A lot of people tell me that that gets in the way of the screen. It doesn't block the screen for me. Now, it does block the buttons right here, but once you know what's there, it's not a big deal. But just so you can see, you can also manually go through your gears right here if you need to do that, and turn your exhaust brake on right there. You can see some of the other features that are going to be there. Now, above the center screen, we're going to have a little bit of storage space. Nice to have that, taking advantage of as much of that as we can. And we'll have Google Assistant here, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto are here. Something else that has changed for 2026 is more of a Google-based system. You won't find Alexa here anymore, as you can see. So that's not going to be here. Amazon Alexa is gone, but you still have Google Assistant, the Play Store, all of that will be here. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone, and you can choose what audio you're listening to right here, just so you can see what's going on with that. Just to let you know, that's something people do ask about, and I like to make sure I show it. Now, our cameras, let's talk about that. Remember I told you about that front camera washer? There is a demonstration of how that works. Now, it does not have to be on the screen for it to work. There's our front view. There is our rear view. We can come back to the overhead views right here, and then we have the 2 views with the side view mirrors. Right here, you can easily hitch up to a trailer if you need to, and you have the bed camera. And if my cameraman was missing, I'd zoom in to find out if he was sleeping in the bed. But he's not going to be doing that today. You can also see the lights are on right there just to show you what's going on here. But that's how easy that is to deal with. Now, you'll get everything for trailering right here. We're not going to spend a lot of time on each of these areas, but just to show you a little bit of what's going on, add trailer, you can use a guest trailer, whatever you need to do, accessory or no trailer. If you're going to do that, the accessory such as plugging something in back there, whatever you might be doing, that's what that is for. Now, let's go to our settings because there are a couple of important notes that I want to show you here, a couple of things that you need to know about, just to show you what's here real fast. I'm just going to run through that just to show you your different options. And then we're going to go up here to vehicle and talk about a few things here. Now, you can turn rear seat reminder and buckle to drive off. Don't drive without your seatbelt on, but if you're driving around in a parking lot, such as filming a YouTube video, it is nice to have that turned off. Climate and air quality. How about your safety features? Let's talk about those real quick. You've got your alert type here, automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, adaptive cruise go notifier, lane change alert, park assist tow bar, and rear cross traffic alert. Now there are a couple of differences here between what you see that has the little check mark right there that you can use to turn that on and off. So let's say we wanted to come in here, this is what you're going to be able to do right here, but that's not the only thing. If we go up here to front pedestrian braking, you can go with alert and brake, alert only, or you can turn that off. Just so you can see some of the options and the functionality that you have here. This is the ultimate tour, so we might as well show you a lot of little things like that. Now, comfort and convenience. Remember I told you that you can set it up to where your side view mirrors automatically fold and unfold when you lock and unlock the vehicle? Here is where you turn that on, remote mirror folding. If you don't want it, obviously you can turn that off right there. And one thing you may not know about with these trucks, if you're not sure what a particular feature does, there's a written description right there on the right hand of the side of the screen for each different area. Chime volume, that's a good one. If it's too loud or too quiet, this is where you come to change that. We'll come back out of that and we're going to go here to lighting. I told you about the locator lights earlier in the video. Here's where you can turn that on and off. So if those are not working on your Sierra 2500 SLT, this is where you come to adjust that. And you can see what else is here. Like I said, we're not going to go with everything. Couple of little things that I think are important. Seating position being one. You can actually set everything with seat memory. This is just for the driver's seat only. But if you want to have seat entry memory, without a tongue twist there, you can turn that on. And what happens is, when, depending on the remote that you use or the key fob, it will remember where you have the seat set when you set that on your door over here with the setting buttons. And also it will move back out of the way and make it easier to get out if you need, as far as the seat exit goes. One thing people have asked me about, can you get rid of the area of the right hand side of the screen and have all of this fill up the whole screen? Unfortunately not. Maybe we'll see that in the future. Now you can change what you have over here depending on what you want. You can use your different options that are available. Trailering, you can also have your clock up here if you want that. But that is the only thing that you can do with that area. Now, we looked at a couple of the buttons down here. You've got your park assist right here. You can open the power tailgate. You're also going to have everything here for your traction control. You can see what all is going on there. We also have our knob right here to adjust the radio, turning that on and off and adjusting the volume. You can also do that on the back of the steering wheel and change what you're listening to there as well. Here is the button to turn the engine on and shut it back down, and your trailer brake control right here. You can adjust that as needed. We're going to have the heated seats, have a couple of different options there, and then the ventilated seats too. With our dual zone climate control, we're going to have that all set up for the driver and passenger seats as far as being heated and ventilated. And then we're going to have our USB connectivity right here. Right here is just a little bit of storage space in front of your cup holders. And I really like the size of this center console lid because I can use that as an armrest. When we open that up, this little tray right here is removable. It's actually not little, but a decent amount of space right there, and a good amount of space within this area. Now, one thing I do hope GMC changes in the future, you're going to notice your wireless charging pad is here, your USB, and the 120 volt power outlet. What is missing in the interior of this truck is a 12 volt power outlet. It's been this way for a couple of years, or several years now actually, in these Sierras. I hope that GMC adds that back in. I know a lot of you feel the same way. One more thing before we hit the road for the test drive is a sampling of the Bose premium audio system. Here you go. And there you go. I haven't tuned it to my liking. I guarantee it can sound a lot better than this, but hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of what's here. All right, here we go on our test drive. And one thing I do want to point out, I know we're all aware, at least a lot of us are, that for 2027, that there are some fully redesigned trucks coming from Chevrolet and GMC. That is the 1500s, not the 2500s. So it's probably gonna be a couple more years, maybe 2028, we'll have to wait and see before these trucks are redesigned as well. But we'll wait and see what comes. This truck is a lot of fun to drive. I mentioned earlier in the video that I do own the 2024 version of this same trim level of this truck. It will get up and go. In fact, it will surprise other people on the road, especially from a stop at a red light. If somebody is trying to get in front of you, or you just want to get down the road, whatever you need to do with a situation like that, it works really, really well and gets up and goes. Even when you're hauling a trailer, you might be surprised at that. All that power and torque. And I know it's not the best in class, but it's still going to get the job done for you. It just comes down to preferences of what you like and all that good stuff. Some people are brand loyal, whatever the situation is. But one way or another, these trucks do a fantastic job. And as far as the overall ride quality goes, well, it is an HD truck. It's not going to have the smoothest ride, but you know what? It's not the worst of any HD truck I've ever done. That's where you need to get in these trucks and drive them for yourselves so you can make your own personal decision on what you think is acceptable and what you think is not. Plenty of room in the first and second rows here, the front and the back seat areas. A lot of adjustability built in here. One thing I didn't talk about earlier is the driver, or the steering wheel I should say, is tilt and telescopically adjustable. There's just a release underneath the steering column. It's manually adjustable, but you can adjust that as needed and adjust the driver's seat as needed. Plenty of headroom, plenty of space, easy to learn and use technology. I tried to show you a little bit of that earlier in the video. Overall, it's a very well-rounded truck, not only for hauling the family and friends around, but also for hauling whatever else you need to haul with the bed or when it comes to towing a trailer. And there it is, the 2026 GMC Sierra SLT, the 2500 HD version. The ultimate tour. Tried to hit all the real high points. I know there was little things we might have covered that we didn't, but we don't want to make this a 3-hour video. Tell me what you think about this truck. I would like to say a special thanks to our friends at Morgan Buick GMC here in Shreveport, Louisiana for loaning us this truck for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's very helpful to us and greatly appreciated. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now and we'll see you there.